So welcome to this video. My name is Alex, and I've made this video because something happened to me today which I think is relevant for a lot of people right now, and will help us consider how we need to speak to people, how we need to interact with people who may see things differently than we do. And of course, with what's going on the planet, in our society, there's a lot of people who will be seeing things differently than we are. For example, if we do not believe what the media is telling us about the global pandemic, then we are going to be seeing things very differently to all the people who do believe what the media is telling us about the media pandemic, and vice versa. So there's some very extremely different views upon our current situation, and there's a great division between these two perspectives. So what happened to me today was I was in town. I was taking some wet laundry to the tumble dryer, and I wasn't wearing a mask. And I walked in, put the clothes in the tumble dryer, and then about 25 minutes later, I came back to see if they were ready yet. And as I walked in, there was a lady sitting there on the bench with her mask on, and I just walked in and walked to the tumble dryer to check how many minutes were left. And the lady shouted at me, "Wear a mask." And she didn't have a very friendly tone in her voice. And I just checked that there was 5 minutes left on the tumble drying, and I turned around and walked back out, and I just kind of gave a thumbs up to her as I walked out, because I didn't want to be too rude. I'm not a rude person. So I acknowledged what she said. I gave a thumbs up and walked back out, and waited in my car for the final 5 minutes. And as I was in my car, I considered how to respond to this situation, because she was still sitting there and she told me to wear a mask. Now, maybe like you, I do not like being told what to do, especially when it's demanded, when it's said to me in such a commanding, rude, bossy voice. I do not like being told what to do, and that instinctively makes me do exactly what I'm not told to do. It makes me show that I'm a free person and I'm not going to be told what to do. And so I sat there thinking, well, okay, so my instinctive gut reaction was, I'm not going to put a mask on just because she told me to wear a mask. You know, I felt quite, righteous about it, you know, and I thought, okay, well, of course, she was quite angry that I wasn't wearing a mask, and if I go back in there without a mask, she is going to be angrier still, because obviously she's someone who believes that it's very important to wear a mask, and she's obviously someone who believes that there is a health threat from not wearing a mask. So I just considered this. I considered, okay, I have no judgment of the lady. I can understand how she feels, because I can understand she's been watching the media. She believes the media. She has this perspective, and she believes it's correct. And of course, she's afraid. So her words at me, shouting at me, "Wear a mask," were coming from her fear. She's obviously getting very anxious about what's going on, and she does not want to be put at risk. And so her words, which she barked at me, were coming from that place of fear, maybe stress, anger, and so on. Maybe she was angry with people who she's seen around town not wearing a mask. So I sat in my car just thinking, right, well, my instinct is to go in there and just ignore her and let her get angry, because I had the sense that she would get angry if I went back in there, and she would probably have a go at me, say something rude to me, or maybe shout at me, who knows. So I thought, right, I could do that, and I can handle that. I can handle it if she's going to be rude to me. But then I thought, hang on a second. What is the kindest thing I can do for this lady? Because I understood how she's feeling. I understood why she said that to me. And I felt like, well, I want to be compassionate to her. I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to just be thinking about me and my desire to ignore being told what to do, because that would be making it about me. That would be like me saying, well, no one's going to tell me what to do. But I thought about her. I thought, well, what's the best thing for her? She's obviously afraid. She's obviously anxious. She's obviously agitated. How can I be loving to her? What's the most loving choice I can make? And instantly I knew that the most loving thing to do was to put a mask on and walk back in to get my tumble drying, my dry washing. And I knew that was the kind thing to do, the mature adult thing to do, because the kind of rebellious child inside me wanted to show her that no one could tell me what to do. But then I put myself in some different shoes and I thought, okay, well, am I that rebellious child? Am I still that rebellious child? Or am I an adult? Is it going to do me any harm just to put this mask on out of respect for this lady's fears, out of respect for her, out of compassion for how she sees things? Because I'm not going to go in there and have a big debate about her and try and persuade her that she's wrong about what the news is telling her about the global pandemic. I'm not going to go and have this. I knew that was a completely fruitless and nonsensical thing to do. I wasn't going to go and do that. I just wanted to go and get my washing and go. So I wanted to be respectful and I wanted to do the right thing for her. And I knew the right thing was just to put on my mask so she felt better. So I got to the door, put my mask on, walked in, and she said, "Thank you." Even though she was angry and rude to me, she saw that I'd put my mask on, and she said, "Thank you." I got my washing, put it in the bag, my dry washing, put it in the bag, walked out the door, and I said to her, "Have a nice weekend." And I felt like I'd given her something. I felt like I'd been respectful of her feelings. And that's an important thing, because we may judge the way someone feels as stupid. We might say, "Why are you feeling afraid? That's stupid. There's nothing to be afraid of. Why are you feeling anxious about this? It's all made up. There's nothing to be anxious about." We could think that and we could act from those thoughts. But rather than thinking she was stupid, rather than thinking she was deluded and, hypnotized by the media and thinking she was some kind of, fool, which I'm not. I don't like to judge people. I don't like to, because if you can understand where people are coming from and why they're speaking the way they're speaking, why they're feeling the way they're feeling, if you understand people, you can't judge them, because we've all been in another person's shoes. We've all been afraid. We've all been afraid of something that's not real. We've all been worried about something that we shouldn't need to worry about, and we act from that place of worry. So it's good to have compassion. It's really important. And the reason I'm speaking about this right now in this video is because this is the situation we're in. We're now in a world where a large percentage of the people think that it's very important to walk around wearing a mask. And they think it's very important not to get close. And they think it's very important to take the vaccine. That's the world we're living in now. And rather than insulting those people or thinking they're stupid or thinking they're deluded, we have to understand why people are feeling this way. Because they believe it's true, they trust the media, and whether we think that's stupid or not, there's a lot of people who trust the media, and that's fine, because the media seems to many people like it's giving them true information. We may see things differently, but we have to understand why people trust the media. So a lot of people, millions of people, maybe billions, are in this space where they think it's true and they think they have to do these things to stay safe. And so it's really important that we don't insult them, that we don't call them stupid or don't get into arguments with people. And like that lady, I could have got into an argument with her. I could have said, "Don't tell me what to do," but that's so childish and petty. We've got to rise above these things and just keep the peace. Got to keep the peace. Because we are going to find many opportunities for us to have arguments with people who don't like what we're doing. They think we should be doing something differently. And so what do? Do we argue with them? Do we say, "No, you're an idiot, you've just been hypnotized by the media, this is all nonsense," and insult them? Because then it's not going to make them any more peaceful. That's not going to solve anything. If we insult them and tell them we think they're deluded or stupid, that is not going to solve any problem. But if we're respectful, if they feel like they're being respected, and we're doing it not because they've told us to, but because we care about them. If we care about someone and we want to make them feel respected, then we listen to their requests. If it's not a massive imposition, and look, it's not a massive imposition to put a mask on for 10 seconds or for a few minutes if someone is uncomfortable. Now these are some tough decisions to make, because our ego wants to say, "I'm going to do what I think is right, and I don't care if that person judges me, I don't care if these people are angry, I'm going to do what I think is right." But then we're not being sensitive to the circumstances and to the people around us. And we've got to be sensitive. We've got to be sensitive human beings here, not just stubborn or self-righteous or determined to do things our way human beings. We have to be sensitive and respectful. That way we can ensure that we're being an agent of peace. It's really important now, more than ever before on the human planet, that we are agents of peace, because there's a lot of people feeling very afraid, very angry, very worried, very anxious, very on a knife's edge, emotionally on a knife's edge. They really are afraid. And so we have to have compassion for those people, obviously. The only thing we can do that's of any service is to be compassionate. We can't go around educating people of why they're wrong to believe this and why it's all a lie and how they're deluded, because people don't want to listen. They've already decided. They've already decided what they believe. If they're wearing a mask, if they're telling you to wear a mask, they've already decided. The best thing you can do is be compassionate. The best thing you can do is show that you respect that person, that you care about them, and that you're not selfish. It's hard. The ego makes us selfish. The ego tells us, I'm going to do what I want to do. Thank you very much. I'm not going to do what you say just to make you feel safe. But that's a loving thing to do. That's the heart's response. And of course, like me, nobody likes being told, being ordered what to do by someone in an angry voice. So it's very hard. It's a challenge not to react, not to, have a go at that person and say, who do you think you are? You can't talk to me like that. What's that going to do? It's going to aggravate the situation. It's going to agitate the person and create hostility and create fire, create this tension and aggravation between you and another person. And we're going to see this on a society-wide scale. It's going to get worse. It's going to get more and more intense as some people take the vaccine, some people don't take the vaccine, and the media is saying, well, if you haven't taken the vaccine, you're a big threat. You're a big threat to the public. Because of this, because of the media, the tension, the aggravation, the anxiety, the stress, the irritation is going to grow. And we have to be very, very careful that we don't feed it, that we don't trigger, give someone a reason to flip out. Be respectful, be understanding. Understand why people are doing what they're doing and why they're feeling the way they're feeling. Be compassionate, be understanding. Swallow your pride, swallow your ego, and do the respectful thing. Be an adult. Don't be a stubborn child. Be an adult who wants to be respectful to someone who we may think is completely deluded. We may think that. We may think, this person, how can they believe this? But that's what they believe. And we have to respect, honor where they're at emotionally. You can't tell someone, well, you shouldn't be afraid, you shouldn't be angry, you shouldn't be stressed, you shouldn't be anxious. They are. So what can we do? We can be loving. Because remember, love heals all. So if we bring love, we bring compassion into that situation, that's the best gift you can give to that person who's in front of you. The best thing you can offer them is a loving and compassionate heart. Because that's the only thing that's going to benefit and perhaps change or influence the way they're feeling. Perhaps bring a little bit more warmth into the heart, take away some of the fear. Who knows? But love is the most important ingredient in any interaction with any human being, no matter what mood they're in, no matter what emotion they're in. We don't lock horns and battle with them, because that will just make, if everyone's doing that, imagine what it's going to be. Very unpleasant. All these people battling with each other. Do we want to live in a battleground? Do we want society to be a battleground? Because it's up to us. It's not up to them to wake up and open their eyes and see the delusion or see the lies. It's up to us to be an agent of peace. Because we are the ones who have the responsibility, the light, the awareness to know that we need to bring peace in to every circumstance, every communication, to bring love, compassion and peace in. And that's our job. That's our top responsibility. Not to educate people on why they're wrong, why they're deluded, why they've got their information haywire. It's our job to be an agent of peace, compassion, love and respect. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but the rewards from being compassionate, being sensitive, being respectful are great, and you're spreading something that's much needed in our society at present. Thanks for watching. I wish you well, and God bless you.